If you've ever grown strawberries, I'm sure you can relate to a bird eating them the second they get red and ripe. Options like nets can be a huge hassle, but if you didn't know, you can paint rocks to look like strawberries, and that'll deter the birds from eating the real ones. All you have to do is put these rocks in your flower bed. The birds will peck these and eventually realize that they're not tasty strawberries. After this, once your real strawberries grow in, the birds won't even touch them. So here's a tutorial on how to make these rocks. The first step is getting the rocks to be red. I find a bunch of tiny rocks and then I spray paint them because this is 10 times easier than trying to paint it with a tiny paintbrush. Once the rocks are thoroughly dry, I use paint markers and draw on tiny green leaves. It's so much easier to use acrylic paint markers because the surface area on these rocks is so tiny. After I've painted all the leaves green, I outline them in black marker. This isn't very realistic, but I think it gives the strawberries a neat look. Using the same black marker, I add little black seeds all over one side of the rock. The reason I only paint one side is because one side is all that's going to be facing up. It would be too time consuming to do both sides when you're only going to use one. After you've painted the seeds, find a white marker and start adding highlights. In this step, it's very important to visualize where you want the light to appear it's coming from. For example, if you want it to appear as if it's coming from the bottom left corner, make sure to add your dots facing the bottom left. Same with the leaf highlights. If you want to make your rocks a little bit different, you could add yellow highlights instead of white to make it look a little more realistic, and you could add a darker green outline instead of black. At this point, your rocks should look like this, and you only have one more step until they're done. That's the finish coat. If you're going to leave these rocks outside, you have to make sure that they're able to withstand the weather. I use the same finish that I use on paintings, a spray-on clear coat finish. The proper way to do this to ensure that it can withstand even the worst weather is to add many thin clear coats. Once it's dry, your rocks are done and ready to be set in your flower bed with your strawberries. I love that these rocks have a functional use, however, they're so cute and you can use them as decoration as well. Thanks for watching. I hope this tutorial was easy to follow. Comment if you tried it.